Amma here. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for those who have been supporting the channel and helping us grow. We are slightly on over 500 subscribers, and so your support really does not go unnoticed. And if you are new, please don't forget to check out our previous videos that we've been posting since the 27th of June. And we would like to hear your feedback. Let us know how you're finding the content. It is nice to see us working together and creating change and making a difference in society. So please don't forget to hit that bell icon and subscribe to the channel so that you are notified whenever I upload a new video. Today we are joined by Dr. Ikechi Agbugba, who is a university professor at the Department of Agriculture and Applied Economics in Rivers State University in Nigeria. And he's also a faculty manager at the School of Agriculture Business Management in Rome Business School. He's also a senior advisor in Association of African Future Leaders and a director research and development in international coordinator at the Africa Agriculture Agenda, as well as a senior advisor in ASD in Canada Africa Network. Thank you so much, Dr. Ikechi, for joining me for today's conversation on the potential of agriculture in solving unemployment.
You're welcome. Thanks for the opportunity as well.
It's a pleasure. Just to give a context, the COVID-19 pandemic and the scourge of unemployment calls for a revisit to the usually ignored alternatives such as agriculture. Can you assess the potential of agriculture in solving unemployment and other problems arising out of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, thanks for that question. Well, I would say that agriculture has very high potentials in solving unemployment issues and other problems, as you highlighted, that arose from the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, in the first instance, pandemic or no pandemic, food is a constant requirement and a basic need for human beings, And during this pandemic, many persons were recorded to have lost their jobs, and more are still losing as many organizations are even closing down or wounding up. And during such a lockdown, while many organizations did not open for businesses, agriculture was considered as, as an essential service. And that was not closed down by the government, by those, regulations and policies that, for us to stay indoors and not to, for social distancing and all that. So under these circumstances, agriculture should become the highest employer of labor during and post-COVID-19. This is more so for the following reasons. Well, for Africa, of which we know that Africa has promising potentials to drive economic growth and global economic development by feeding the entire world by the year 2050. So, and because of its vast agricultural resources all over Africa, both in the ECOWAS region, in the Eastern African region, even in the Southern African Development Community countries, that is the SADC. And Africa has enough arable land for agricultural practice. Food production in Africa is still below requirements vis-a-vis the demand. So you can see that these reasons and even more, I can even say more with respect to, why agriculture has become very important for employing labor in Africa. Well, more so at a time like this, agriculture is highly profitable because produce commands high prices. Like since I coordinate a lot of activities in Africa's agriculture sector, of which we had a project for selected tomato growers in Africa. So we went to the SADC region, and I had to ask a Zimbabwean tomato grower recently, and you know what she said? She said that tomato fruits go for $1. You can imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for just two tomato fruits, and it will even get higher. Remember that we are in a season when like, of course, price of goods must definitely go high at such times when food insecurity is getting higher, is increasing. So many governments in African countries are coming out with policies that favor agricultural practice now and funding. For example, in Nigeria, the government has some loans and funding opportunities, grants in place through the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, which is aimed at funding agriculture. Lastly, many retirees who and are no longer following their routine jobs as they used to. They are now at home, and they are investing their retirement benefits in agriculture. And for every new investment in agriculture, employment opportunities are also being created. Yeah. So
True. Wow. Yeah, that's
okay.
amazing. That's amazing. So there is really potential for the agricultural sector to solve the unemployment rate which yeah, most African countries are facing. Just to go to my second question, given that agriculture is the primary sector in African economy, it follows that people must participate in this sector, right? So to what extent do you
Absolutely.
yeah. So to what extent do you think Africans, especially young people, are participating in the agriculture sector?
Well, I must say that well, they are coming, they are gradually getting more interested in coming into the agriculture sector. Um, like many young Africans, they view agriculture, yes, as unfashionable. That's, we have to reckon that. And it has also been seen as a profession for people in the villages, and most young people are moving to towns for greener pastures. Now, ironically, the real greener pasture is what they are leaving behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that it's now more of a perception problem. Yeah, so it has been a profession um, for people in the villages, and more young people, like I said earlier, they are moving to towns.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, most of these youngsters, in fact, not just in Africa, are impatient and cannot even bear the stress and disappointments, and even to wait for longer periods for food, agricultural, those seeds to mature and those livestock to also grow and get to the point where they are harvested and sold out. And agriculture requires a lot of patience, has
Yeah.
lots of stress attached to it as well, and can be disappointing sometimes, especially because we don't practice protected farming system in Africa, sufficiently. Like, we have a lot of climate change issues, from flooding, droughts, ranging also to disease outbreaks. And many young people, are battling with, should I join or should I not join? And also, many of these young people, they see symbols of success: good cars, flashy clothes, big homes, in reserved places. They want to see it. And agriculture comes to them as dirty and hard, like drudgery, involved in it. So agriculture is largely not a flamboyant profession to them. And no matter what the wealth gotten from it, they still look at it that way. However, some of us who have been in the profession for a while now want to change. We want to rebrand the narrative. We want to rebrand it to make it more attractive. We want to rebrand it to incorporate the scientific and the technologically driven side of agriculture, which is quite interesting. And we are blessed with the aspect of the fourth industrial revolution, of which artificial intelligence, drone agriculture, and all that, which makes it catchy for these young people. And they can be shown how profitable that agriculture can be despite its hurdles. For example, they will need to know details like how a hectare of tomatoes, like I have mentioned about tomatoes, with about 30,000 plants on it, can produce at least 30 fruits per plant. Meaning that if the market price is 20 fruits for $1, usually about 10 fruits, they can turn over like 1.5 US dollars per plant times 30,000, that is 45,000 USD every 3 to 4 months on just 1 hectare. So using improved seeds and having irrigation all year round, not just depending on rain-fed agriculture, as most of the smallholder farmers who comprise the Africa's agriculture sector have, been practicing. So, and the cost of production is not just not just up to 15,000 USD. They need to know that in modern agriculture, in modern times, that a lot has been done to reduce the insecurities typically associated with agriculture. Another point is that the governments have to make the sector more attractive to young people by giving incentives to young people who may want to study agriculture as well, from their first degree and even to the postgraduate level, both through making the admission requirement less difficult and training and also financial support on graduation, so they wouldn't have to struggle in the job market. I hope I'm making some great points.
Oh yes, you are totally. You are making awesome points. Because I can see as when you were answering the question I've just asked you, in a way you answered our next question, which it was about why do you think youth view agriculture as unfashionable, and what can you tell them? What can you tell youth rather to change this perception? And you kind of touch on that. You are touching on that, and it's amazing. You are making really awesome points. As a person in the agriculture business, how did the COVID-19 pandemic affect you, and how are you managing with the situation?
Well, thank you for that question. Well, among other practitioners in the agriculture sector, where I play roles and function, the pandemic slowed down movement a lot. Like we were not allowed to socialize and even train our students and also engage in physical activities. So it was more of remote activities now. So we had to face the challenge of buying enough data to make sure you are online to give your sessions. Well, on the side of as an agriculturist in the farm, it slowed down movements, but the crops in the farm do not understand that there was a pandemic. The livestock did not understand. Yet, well, they were still, grazing, especially for the cows and those cattle, poultry. They were, we're still feeding them with the concentrates and the supplements that we give to them. But I had challenges getting farm hands during the lockdown to do weeding activities and other farm activities. Well, some farmers who I coordinate also reported this. But shortly after the lockdown, those farmers went back to the farm full force. And at this time, the cost of tomatoes, became, skyrocketed.
Yes.
And, there was really hike in price, exactly. So family and friends are not feeling that much because, you know, for example, our tomato farms and that of the farms around had enough to carry us through. Well, people have still not recovered from the effects of the pandemic. In fact, projections have shown that next year is going to be very bad in terms of food production and distribution as well, coupled with an already declared recession in Africa, especially in West Africa. And but then I will be, um, food items has to be sold.
Yeah.
Like organic farmers, they have to keep on producing, despite all of this by the grace of God. And like for example, a semi-successful farmer who does not suffer recession when his or her country goes into recession, he will definitely benefit from that recession.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you can imagine if youngsters can just get a hectare of land now, prepare the land, and get it, plant those seeds, and also provide like source of irrigation and not just rain fed, and plant vegetables like jute 3 to 5 weeks, tomatoes like for 3 months, which is like 65 to 90 days, and then um, for amaranthus, we have amaranthus. The common name is green here. It's not. Sometimes it's called spinach. Spinach is found in SADC, but amaranthus in the West African countries grows, and with 6 to 8 weeks as well, and also produced regularly within the year, so that young people or young persons will not know that there is recession, even if they
True.
do not become rich due to the size of the land they are farming on.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah. So in other words, the agricultural sector, it really has the potential to make one not to be unemployed and not to be affected if there's any pandemic or recession or whatsoever, because it really doesn't it creates that platform where one can flourish regardless of what's happening because of its nature, right? But then I understand that
absolutely,
help, like you raise the issue of irrigation instead of depending only on rain. So it means now the government also has to come in a sense to help those that are in farming so that they can still thrive regardless of the situation.
definitely. That is just that.
Wow, amazing. Wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Ikechi, for this conversation.
You're welcome. You're
It's very
welcome,
much
Petunia.
needed.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. If you have any thoughts about today's conversation, please leave a comment below. And if you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Until we see each other again next week Saturday. Take care and bye.